Work. Soul-crushing, life-draining, time-sucking labor. We all gotta do it. It's one of the undeniable harsh realities of human existence. There are exceptions to the rule here, but by and large, work sucks. There's no way around it. That's just the way that it is. So how do we, as a society, mitigate the constant pain of a 9-to-5? Well, we get—
Drugs!
No. What? I mean, some of us, but what are you doing here?
My bad.
Vacation. I was gonna say vacation. Vacations are great, and it can be really good to get out of your hometown every once in a while just to visit a new place or see new things. It's a big weight off your shoulders to get away from the drone of everyday life and go somewhere, anywhere else. But vacation can be an ordeal all on its own. You gotta decide where to go, who to bring, how long to stay, you have to budget for the whole thing, yada yada yada. It's a big hassle, and sometimes planning a trip can take months. Sometimes it just doesn't feel worth the effort. Thanks to the modern wonders of technology, however, this isn't such a big issue anymore. Luckily for the extreme homebodies among us, the Nintendo wizards came up with a solution to this problem in 2009. That's right, I'm talking about
Drugs!
Stop doing that!
Alright, I'm going.
Jesus. Wii Sports Resort. I'm talking about Wii Sports Resort. Following the massive success that was Wii Sports, Nintendo wasted no time in expanding on the original concept and giving players an impressively large slew of new minigames to play in an exciting new location, Woohoo Island. One of the things I always really appreciated about Wii Sports Resort is how each minigame took place on a specific part of the island, so it really felt like you were living in the island and kind of experiencing this getaway location in all of its entirety. It really felt like this unique getaway spot with a lot to do. It was cool. And yet, for as amazing as Wii Sports Resort was, it felt like it was lacking something to me. I longed for something more, a way to truly feel like I was exploring the island with my feet on the ground. Enter the real star of this video, Go Vacation. Now, this game was released right at the end of the Wii's life cycle, so I'm not sure how many— I'm not sure how many people actually played this one, but it was kind of a hidden gem. My brother and I probably put like 100 hours into this game. It was a real staple in my house. And it's because it took the Wii Sports Resort formula and did something truly special with it. It evolved on it in a really interesting way. It's something that I haven't really seen done since. I want to revisit it today because I think it's a game worth talking about, and it's one that goes largely overlooked. It's not perfect by any means, but there's a lot more to it than what meets the eye, so let's dive into it. Hey, buddy. My eyes are up here. It's a new day. I just spent yesterday playing Go Vacation and getting a feel for the game again, kind of diving back into what it was like to play it as a kid. I actually ended up playing the Nintendo Switch version just because it was easier to access, and I didn't think it would be that different from the Wii version I grew up playing, but they've actually implemented a lot of changes that I think are pretty interesting. My first indicator that this game actually changed a bit was the main menu music, because it used to sound like this. And now it just sounds like this. I'll call out all the big differences as I go along, but I just felt like that was important to mention, that this isn't the exact product that I have such fond memories of. It's transformed a little bit. Personally, I think that most of the changes they made are actually good, so I'm happy either way. But to understand the changes, first you have to understand the game itself. Go Vacation begins by letting you pick a character. You can either choose one of their preset characters or use one of your Miis, which gives it more of a Wii Sports Resort vibe. Personally, I recommend using one of the characters that you can pick from their selection because it allows you to wear hats and sunglasses, which is really important when you're on a vacation. You can also choose to bring companions or a dog with you on your journey, and there are a surprising number of dog breeds to choose from. I, of course, made my childhood buddy and had him tag along for a lot of my trip. Right from the get-go, there's a lot to do in the main menu. Here, you can access the different resort activities directly, of which there are a lot. Most of them have multiple modes and challenges to complete as well, so it stacks up really quickly. For comparison, Wii Sports Resort had 12 activities, and this game has something like 45, and that's not even counting the new activities that they added for the Switch version. Now, obviously, not all minigames are created equal. For every really fun, in-depth game like scuba diving, for example, we have something terrible like bucket ball. I'd love to meet the person who came up with bucket ball, because I've never seen anything like this in real life, and I'd love to know what the inspiration was for this. A lot of these definitely feel like quota fillers. Still, there's enough here to keep you entertained for a while, and it took me several hours to try out every single one. Outside of activities, we have the schools, which give you brief tutorials on how to use each of the game's different vehicles for traversal. These are actually worth doing because they give you in-depth guidance on each mode of transport's little tricks, which can prove very useful for succeeding at certain minigames. You can access the photo mode from here too, though most of the locations will be locked until you discover them in the resorts themselves. You can save these to your Switch and pose your posse however you'd like, which is cool. Other than that, there's a hints menu, which shows a collection of the hints the game gives you during loading screens, and the daily gifts menu, both of which are entirely new to the Switch version. I think daily rewards is a fun way to keep people coming back, and the hints range from utterly useless to surprisingly helpful, so I think overall these are both good additions. But enough of the menus, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of the game itself. The resorts. In Go Vacation, your ultimate goal is to have the best vacation you can have on the exotic Kawawii Island. Do you get it? Kawawii? Because this is a Wii game, do you get it? Do you get it? The island is split into 4 wildly different resorts. The Marine Resort, the City Resort, the Snow Resort, and the Mountain Resort. Coming back to this, I was still surprised at just how much there is to do here and the amount of variety within each resort. The resorts are more than just hubs for the activities. There's actually a lot to do here. As soon as you're dropped into the Marine Resort during your first playthrough, you have the freedom to explore anywhere you'd like. You can find hidden treasures, collect photos of wildlife, and even help islanders out with unique quest lines that actually have worthwhile rewards. With so much to do, you want to make sure you can get around easily. Worry not. That's where the game's vehicles come in. Each resort has several methods of travel. At the Marine Resort, you can take a marine bike or an ATV. At the City Resort, you can take rollerblades or a skateboard. The Snow Resort's got skis, snowboards, snow tubes, and a snowmobile. And the Mountain Resort lets you rock a horse, kayak, or off-road car. You can also bump into other vacationers with these vehicles and get a reaction out of them, which is especially funny in the car. Now I hear you on the other side of the screen saying, yeah, whatever, you can hit people with your car in a million games. Well, you can't hit a hippopotamus with an ATV in other games, so put that up your ass. Fun fact for you, this game was developed by Bandai Namco, who are industry legends at this point. They're the ones that own Pac-Man, and they really want you to remember that they own Pac-Man in this game. But on the game's Wikipedia page, it notes that the development team claimed that, quote, developing the controls for the game's vehicles felt like second nature to the development team due to their experience on the Ridge Racer series. Now, I haven't played Ridge Racer, but second nature must not mean much to these guys. If you'd rather take in the sights a little more passively, Go Vacation also gives you several options to travel as a passenger. You can take boats, ski lifts, trains, trolleys, and the Mountain Resort even has a ferry ride around the lake with a guided tour. I really appreciate the emphasis on immersion this game seems to have. Every resort is littered with other people on vacation. You can sit pretty much anywhere there's a seat and just enjoy the sights for a bit. And there's also these food trucks scattered around everywhere that you can actually stop and eat at, which is awesome. There's also no limit to these treats, so please, pace yourself accordingly. The other island goers are mostly for show, but they do react when you emote at them or pull your camera out to take a picture. The activity NPCs have some unique personalities as well. Hey, baby! Like I mentioned before, each resort feels uniquely its own, and they each deserve their own moment. So I'm gonna go through them one by one, starting with the Marine Resort is probably the most vacation-esque of the 4 resorts if we're being honest. Sunny and beachy, this resort's all about soaking in the waves and rays. We've got beach volleyball, surfing, marine bike races, skydiving, and even a triathlon among other activities. There's a surprising amount of environmental variety in this map alone, with the left half being dedicated to the ocean's rolling water and sandy beaches, and the right half touching on muddy jungle trails perfect for ATV treks. Fishing is the new addition to the Marine Resort, and it's fine. There's nothing really special or unique to it, and we've seen fishing done better a million times at this point, but I could see it being fun trying to fill out your fishing records. The Marine Resort's also got this lost and found questline with an old man over by the ruins. Gameplay wise, it's pretty mundane, but the backstories behind each item you recover for him are pretty charming. The more things you find for him, the nicer he is to you, and eventually he even starts calling you his best friend and his soulmate, which was like honestly a little heartwarming. He also openly admits to having fought a sea serpent, which is insane. Glosses over that one real quickly. With that, we've had our fun here at the Marine Resort, so let's get ready to skate on over to the City Resort. The City Resort is a bustling metropolis built around the towering Yggdrasil Central Hotel. You've heard of walkable cities. But have you heard of skatable cities? The entire structure of the city resort centers around a massive network of ramps and rails that are perfectly set up for tricks and transportation. There's also a massive skate park dedicated entirely to Taylor Swift. It's actually one of the most entertaining resorts to get lost in, even though it's probably the smallest. In terms of activities, we've got everything you'd expect from a city vacation trip. Mini golf, hang gliding, racing, air hockey, glass harp, pie throwing, bucketball. City Resort's definitely a hodgepodge of things to do, but it does have the most unique activities in the game. You also hunt down some pretty exotic animals here for your photo album, including this lion that is entirely unsupervised. Nobody's bothered by this? You're all standing very close.
Let's go have some fun!
The special quest for this city is Mail on Wheels, which involves bringing letters to individuals scattered around the city. This one's extremely straightforward and time-based, but it's got a little arcadey charm to it. It lacks the warmth of the old man's stories from the last one, though. Speaking of warmth, let's check out our next resort. The Snow Resort might be the most fleshed out resort the game has, which makes sense given that prior to Go Vacation, Bandai Namco released Wii Ski and its pseudo-sequel, Wii Ski and Snowboard. We do, in fact, ski and snowboard at this resort, but we also snowtube and snowmobile. I guess calling the game Wii Marine Bike and ATV and Skate and Rollerblade and Ski and Snow would have been too much of a mouthful. It probably wouldn't have fit on the box. The mountain here is absolutely massive, and there are about a dozen routes to take with varying degrees of difficulty. Most of the activities you can do here are winter related, such as snowmobile races, snowman building, ice fishing, mogul, ski jumping, etc. To be honest though, it's more fun to just explore the mountain on your own than it is to do any of these mini games. There's even secret caves to find here and there. I'm a little concerned about the safety regulations on this resort. I would say like 85% of this mountain is just straight up fatal. And keep in mind, you can choose to play as a kid in this game, meaning you can ride from top to bottom entirely unsupervised. It's honestly shocking that Kawawii Island hasn't been shut down because of this. The unique quest here involves helping a little girl with a recipe for a special sparkling stew. You'll find each ingredient somewhere up the mountain and then have to race back down to the bottom to deliver it in time. It's another fun little idea, but it's not that different from the other games, and I miss my best friend and soulmate what's-his-name. Last, but certainly not least, we're on our way to the one and only Mountain Resort. While each resort has its own charms, the Mountain Resort is far and away my favorite. It's just so serene. The resort's comprised of rolling plains and winding rivers, and you could pick any spot on the map here and meditate. It's also probably the biggest just in terms of raw size. Driving from the town at the bottom to the mountain's peak takes a good 4 or 5 minutes, which is a lot for a Wii game. Most of the events here are really outdoorsy, like horse racing, whitewater rafting. They've even got a shooting club with a handful of firearm-related games. It's actually jarring to see a me holding a gun. Not as jarring as seeing a me with toes and no nipples though. At the Mountain Resort, your quest involves trading a bunch of items around to get the alleged descendant of the king his crown back. This one's just as straightforward as the rest of them, but there's all these cute little mini stories scattered in with all the people that you're trading items with, so that's pretty cool. Those are cute. I liked those. So now that I've introduced you to all 4 of the resorts, we have to talk about the Stamp Dash. The Stamp Dash is the game's central mechanic for progression. For each first attempt at an activity at each of the 4 resorts, you'll earn a stamp. The goal is to earn 20 stamps overall. At certain milestones, you'll unlock different things. Early on, each amount of stamps will unlock the next resort for you to access. From the start, you only have access to the Marine Resort, but completing activities and earning stamps will grant you access to the other 4 in succession. The Stamp Dash is cool, but it's by no means necessary, so you can kind of play the game however you'd like, and you'll probably end up getting all the stamps anyway. Once you've earned 20 of them, the game rewards you with something that I think is actually pretty cool: the Villa. The Villa grounds act as your home away from home. Once you've earned 20 stamps, the staff at Kawawii Island grants you your own fully customizable villa. It makes me wonder if they're doing this for everybody, because there's absolutely no way that is sustainable as a business model. Villa customization is actually surprisingly deep. By default, you'll get this nice log cabin with a bunch of cool furniture laid out. You've got a bed, a nice spot to sit, a nice spot to sit, a nice spot to sit. But if you hate the layout, no problem. you also have the ability to customize the furniture exactly to your heart's content. I really felt like the default design was hampering my creative vision, so when I went in to customize it, I made myself a nice little bedroom and a terrifying cactus maze. Okay, the cactus maze is a goofy idea, but it does go to show you that you can make pretty much whatever you want with this customization tool, which is nuts considering this is a game about throwing balls into garbage cans. By completing activities and unlocking side content, you'll earn points to level up. Every level grants you keys that you can use to unlock new decorations and styles for your villa. The villa is effectively your end game content. Everything you do once you've completed all the activities is done to help you progress further in making the best villa you can. Okay, so at this point, we've tried every activity once and we've unlocked a free house. So what's left to do, you're asking? You are asking. No, it's not over yet. No, I know the credits are rolling, but it's just... No, stop, wait, don't go anywhere, I'm not done! Once you've completed the main game, a surprising amount of content actually opens up for you. The game introduces daily challenges, which are a good way to earn big amounts of points to continue leveling up. It also introduces a rivalry system. At different spots around the island, you'll come across these NPCs who want to challenge you in the different sports. They even introduce a new mechanic where an airplane will fly over the island every once in a while and drop a present full of points for you. On top of all of this, the game also has over 100 challenges to complete. These challenges are mostly tied to the different activities and completing all their different modes and levels, but there are also some that you earn just from playing the game, like for example, taking 100,000 steps. Now is also a perfect opportunity to go looking for the hidden treasures across each map. These reward costumes, and most of them are pretty silly, but a lot of them are actually kind of hard to find. It's just another rewarding extra experience to this game that already has way more content than it should have. All in all, I was really pleased with my return to Kawawii Island. This game's just got such charm, and it does something that I don't think Wii Sports Resort was ever able to do, which was make you feel like you're actually at the resort experiencing this vacation. It could have been so easy for them to make this a simple cash grab with a bunch of mediocre activities and leave it at that, but they put so much extra effort into making this an enjoyable experience with a lot to do. Daily challenges and rewards also inspire you to keep coming back, which I think is a great addition overall. The Switch version of this game takes what was already a great foundation and expands on it even further, giving you motivation to come back and keep playing even days after you've finished all the activities. And just like a real vacation, you don't really need an end goal to enjoy your time here. You could work hard to complete all the challenges and try every activity, sure, but you can also just enjoy your time waltzing around the different locations and taking in the beautiful sights. My brother and I used to just spend hours running around playing tag or hide and seek or trying to get the biggest score combos we could. It's a perfect playground for kids, and even as an adult, I think it holds up pretty well. The real takeaway from my time with Go Vacation is that I never need to go outside again. I can just kick back, turn on my Switch, and enjoy my time here on the island, and it's basically as good as real life. So there you go. That's Go Vacation. Thanks for sitting through this one. My biggest takeaway from making a video about a video game is that it takes way longer than it takes to make a video about a movie. Even with the comparatively small amount of content in this game, it took me probably like 10 to 15 hours to kind of get through it all. So I can only imagine it's going to take me forever if I decide to make a video about a real game. I'm joking, of course. I think Go Vacation is a realer game than most. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment and a like, that really helps me out. And let me know what you want to see next. I'm gonna put another video out at the end of next month, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as you enjoyed this one. But in the meantime, I hope you have a good time and a long time, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.